Sometimes I get text messages from old buddies that remind me of things back in the past, and I've been getting a lot more recently for just the things that I've been going through personally. It's been really, really encouraging. So all my buddies and friends that have been text messaging me and messaging me throughout the last couple weeks about different things, I really do appreciate you and love you. Well, guys, today's going to be a little bit of a different a video cast. I am going to be talking about a cigar that I think you should absolutely be smoking and what has accentuated cigars for me just recently. I'm going to be answering some questions about literally my diet and how cigars affect my health and how my diet has actually affected my cigar game. All next on the Zeal Cigar Review. I would absolutely like to start by saying I'm not a doctor, and I have no way of validating all the things that you hear on social media about diets and everything else like that. I have no way of understanding how everything that was supposed to make us healthy has not made us healthy and has made us very, very, very sick. I know there's conspiracy theories out there and so on and so forth. I believe in some of them I don't believe in. I will say that there's a lot of things out there that are just kind of creepy right now. But I want to tell you what worked for me and how my diet actually affected my cigar game and my ability to really taste the flavors of cigars even more so than usual. So this is going to be kind of a little longer video, so I apologize for that. But I'm just going to kind of tell you the journey that I've been through probably the last 18 years, so buckle up. It'll be a fun ride. The cigar I'm going to smoke while I tell you about this is the best cigar that I think you should be smoking this fall while watching football. Now, Sundays are great for me in several reasons. I get a chance to connect with the Lord, go to my church, and then watch a bunch of football and hang out with buddies later on that night. I usually smoke darker cigars in the fall because it's cooler outside. Even in Phoenix, it's cooler. It's like 55 degrees here, which is freezing for us. But one of my favorite fall cigars that are darker to smoke is, of course, the Alec Bradley Black Market. This is the OG Black Market, not the Vandal, not the Esteli. This is the thing that started the craze of the Black Market, and it's the Alec Bradley original. So I have it in the Gordo size here, and I'm going to cut light and smoke and get into it, tell you what it tastes like, but then share with you how my diet's impacted my cigar game. So you know what I got to do? I got to cut light and smoke. Just not a fan of this. I know it makes it look cigars. Oh, this is actually easy. Oh, yeah. Oh, and that stays on. I forgot about that. That actually stays on there. I kind of like that. Cut it with this V-cut from Zaffy. Oh, you know it. You know what I'm going to say. Like butter. The Zaffy Tabletop Lighter. This cigar is very, very good. I've had it multiple times before. Every time I smoke it, it's rich, dark, peppery, smooth in a lot of different ways. I would say this is one of the best Maduro smoker cigars. So if you like stronger, richer Maduros, you're going to love the Alec Bradley Original Black Market. If you're not, then I would definitely stay away from it. Or if you're newer to cigars, I would probably pass on this cigar in particular, as it's kind of a big boy cigar. It's rich, it's dark, and I have the Gordo size making me feel like a real man. So it's my insecurities coming out right there. Here's the story about what's happened, particularly in the last 6 months. About 18 years ago, my wife started feeling very, very sick, and she would eat different carbohydrates. Bread in particular would make her feel really bad, and she would be like sleeping for hours after she would have a meal. And I don't mean like a Thanksgiving meal where you have a bunch of carbohydrates, you just sleep for a little bit, or the tryptopan's hitting you, or you're drinking a lot of dairy or milk. She would just eat like a toast, eat a piece of toast, or eat some bread, or have a slice of pizza, and she'd be out for hours. And this continued to happen throughout her life, and it got really, really extreme to various degrees, to where she was actually rushed to the hospital at one point. She felt faint. She passed out at one point. It was really crazy, and her body was obviously reacting to something. I remember at one point literally being on kind of a personal vacation, where I actually went to one of the largest cigar stores by myself to enjoy writing about something, and my daughter Savannah, at the age of 8 years old, called me on the phone and said, "Mom's on the floor." It's the most terrifying I've ever been as a husband and a father. I was very grateful. We had some really good neighbors that came and helped out, and Jamie was rushed to the hospital. The doctor himself is a dear friend of mine named Justin, and he was there to attend to her. But even driving back from Pennsylvania, where I was, back to Columbus, Ohio, it was terrible. And so my wife has been dealing with this for quite a long time. And to be quite honest, we've liquidated a ton of money into tests and trying to find out what's wrong. She's gone to multiple doctors trying to find out what's wrong. And so as a result of that, we finally found a holistic doctor who's also an MD. Now, this is important if you're trying to figure out like diet and like problems going on with your gut and everything like that. A lot of medical doctors will just prescribe certain things because that's what they're taught to do. But holistic medical doctors tend to, at least we've found this to be our experience, tend to ask questions like what you're eating, things like that. Not that medical doctors won't, but they kind of dive deeper into certain things. Not to mention that this medical doctor is also a Christian, so she's very sensitive to our spiritual needs as well, which I think is really, really helpful. She would do things like pray for us before and after. It's been a long time. It's awesome. It's really awesome, and it's really awesome. And she was very, very helpful to us. Anyways, sorry for the break. Just like when you remember pain that hits you, and you're kind of like, ugh, yeah. So, anyways, just being real with you, I don't want to edit this. I'd rather just be honest with you. Darn good cigar. So in the midst of this, we were trying to figure out what's going on, and I had watched Jordan Peterson. I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. I'd watched Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson, actually talk a little bit about her symptoms, and they are very closely knit to my wife's symptoms. So even before we went to the medical doctor, I said, maybe we should try this carnivore diet thing. And she was like, I don't know, I want to go to the doctor. And it makes sense. You'd want to take, the doctor's word over your husband. I definitely would agree with that because I'm not a medical doctor. So we finally go to the doctor, and we blew our money on all these tests. We still have no, we have ideas that she has something in her gut going on and everything else like that. But finally, the doctor says, I think you should really try this carnivore diet. So for the past almost 6 months now, we have been on this carnivore diet. So my wife was medically put on it. So all my wife eats is basically meat, maybe a little bit of cheese, and water. That's really it. Meat and water. That's it. She's not had anything. In fact, anytime she's tried to introduce a vegetable or tried to introduce a fruit or something like that, it's gone horribly wrong for her, where her mouth feels like it's on fire. It's kind of a crazy allergy that she has to this. I went on it too, and I got some great results from this. And I'll tell you how it impacted my cigar game. Obviously, it impacted my weight gain. My weight gain stopped. I was gaining a lot of weight. I mean, at one point, I was probably at least 350, pushing 360. Right now, I'm down to like 290, almost 285. Might be a little bit less of that. So I've had a dramatic change in weight. All of my joints have healed up. I think you knew about my knee a little bit. That's been almost completely resolved. I still can't run, and I will have to have surgery eventually because I have bone fragments in there from a car wreck I was in a while back. But in all honesty, it's been very, very good for us. So what we learned right there is that what you put into your body really does affect even your palate. So after being on the carnivore diet, where it's basically what I eat, and I'm kind of a modified version of the carnivore diet, I just basically do meat, cheese, maybe a little bit of dairy, and that's it. No carbohydrates, or I don't seek out carbohydrates, if you would. So if they happen to be like 1 or 2 carbohydrates and like whatever cheese I eat or something like that, I ignore that and I eat it anyways. I don't eat a tremendous amount of cheese, but I do use it as a condiment quite often. But no other condiments or anything else like that. But I want to talk about this with you because it dramatically impacted my cigar game, meaning that as I was smoking more, as I was on the carnivore diet, I started to taste different flavors in cigars that I had not tasted before. Started tasting things that I was like, oh my gosh. And I think I already had a great palate. I really do. But I think there's a lot of times that maybe the things I was eating, especially the sweet stuff I was eating, was interrupting it. And I would call out notes of things that maybe were in my mouth at one point, or that I remember from something I ate, maybe a donut or something like that. I thought maybe that tastes like that because I remember that. Well, all that said, I started recognizing that my diet definitely did impact my ability to taste cigars, and it made me want to make a video of how my palate has changed. And now, would the palate have changed if my diet never did? I don't know that. I know that I'm down in a bunch of weight and I feel better than I ever have, but I don't know that if I didn't change the way that I'm eating or anything else like that, that maybe because I'm feeling more healthy, I feel Like I taste so much more of my cigar. I don't know. Maybe it's cerebral. I don't know. But there is something cerebral about the diet that I'm on that it's kind of cleared up all the brain fog that I've had before. I know. It's not hard to believe that I had a bunch of brain fog. But I will say that the cerebral part of smoking a cigar where you're able to kind of meditate and think deeply and maybe just contemplate certain things about your future, the vision you have for your own life, things like that, maybe even the spiritual dynamics behind where you're at with God, that has come so much more natural now with the cigar than it did before. And I don't know if it was because of my diet. I just thought it'd be worth mentioning to you. This cigar is actually very, very good. My job is never done. So if the bottom line really is, does your diet impact your cigar game? I would definitely say yes. It has for me at least. I don't know if it's that way for everybody, but for me, the dropping of body weight, the fat and everything else like that, getting in the gym more, pushing myself really hard, things like that, and the change of my diet, just because I just basically eat meat and salt. There's nothing else that I put on there, maybe some cheese here and there, but the reality is it's definitely made me taste certain things in the cigar. For example, I don't remember the pepper of this cigar being so light versus like, you know, more dark and strong. It's not very, very strong as far as the pepper's concerned. I'd say the pepper's at a 4 or 5, kind of medium, but not overwhelming. I used to think this thing was really overwhelming, but now it's not. And I wouldn't say overwhelming like for me, but for everybody else, I definitely would say that. But just, I'm going through cigars again, and I'm smoking them again, and almost rediscovering a brand new taste of that. Now, I've heard your taste buds are supposed to change every 7 years. I don't know if that's true. I know some of my taste buds have definitely changed. I never liked fish. I do like fish now. I never liked, you know, mustard. I like that. I like mayo. I like all that kind of stuff. But it's fascinating because whether or not that this diet has like impacted my cigar game in a negative way, I don't think it really has. I think it's really positive. I think the diet really did impact this in a positive way. So I guess the thing I want to encourage you with today is take a look at how some of the foods might be impacting your cigar game. And we know that just by nature of the fact that what you eat before you have a cigar, or if you have something in your stomach before you have a cigar, greatly affects your whole experience with the cigar. Not to mention, if you're eating certain sweets or certain foods that give you a high sugar rush and then you smoke a cigar, it can completely change how the cigar actually tastes to you. Well, guys, what are some of your thoughts about what I said today? Have you had the Alec Bradley Black Market? It is a fantastic, fantastic cigar. I'm really enjoying this cigar today. I hope you're going to enjoy a good cigar while you're watching football or doing anything else this fall. This is one I hope that you would consider as you're watching football with your buddies or sitting around with a family watching a football game. Enjoy this good dark cigar, maybe with a good cup of coffee. Ooh, now I got to go get some coffee. Yeah, I can have coffee. I just can't put a bunch of sugar in it. So guys, drop me your comments down there on what you think about how diet actually impacts your cigar health or your cigar game. And I'd love to hear your comments on that. Maybe you're a medical doctor out there. Maybe you have some thoughts on that. Drop it down if you are. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just telling you my experience with this diet and how it's impacted my cigar game. So thank you so much for your time. Please hit the like and share and subscribe and all that other stuff down there if you found this video helpful. If you didn't, I'm sorry. So for the Zeal Cigar Review, I've been Bradley, and I'm out of here like last year. Peace.